Clear.
And we're back to a little overtime. But yeah, it's this thing is moving and it's quick too. Friday is the match against Pitt? Who they play? I forget.
Pittsburgh.
Pitt, yeah, playing Pittsburgh. That's right. You got to say Pittsburgh. Can't say Pitt anymore. Which is ironic. We just got off with Xavier Johnson from Pittsburgh. But yeah, looking for the Pitt. I've not looked at anybody. Who else? Who are the other two teams that are in the College Cup?
I believe North Carolina advanced, which is they're going to have another double with the men's and the women's.
Yeah, North Carolina Marshall. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
couple of blue bloods, couple of upstarts. Exactly the type of tournament that Indiana is honestly built for. To be totally honest with you, Marshall defeated Georgetown, the defending champions, 1-0. So got a lot of teams that can compete here in this one, but I like Indiana's chances quite a bit. I do think we're going to see Pizzera wake up a little bit. You get the sense that there's been some buildup that's just gaining pressure, and eventually it's going to release here. The defense is obviously going to be what wins it for them. And, as you mentioned with Spencer Glass's injury, they filled in and not really missed a beat since then and continue to just really dominate the back line, minimizing chances. And Susie Egley was tweeting at me this morning talking about how fortunate they were in response to some of my remarks about just the run of success Todd Yeagley's been on here recently. And I commented last night that it's not too terribly dissimilar from his father's. They've had took Jerry 10 years to get his first title. Todd had it in year 3, but year 11 now he's in his 4th College Cup, which is just where his dad was after a decade on the job. And Jerry was able to parlay that into just a couple of decades of absolute dominance. And Indiana right now is not unlike Jerry's early teams. They were able to compete, and they just weren't quite able to get over the hump to get the natty. And you get the sense with the talent that Todd's been able to bring in no small part due to Kevin Robeson's move into the recruiting coordinator position. They're just pumping out some insane talent right now. But most importantly, they got some guys that can score goals. And as we've seen with basketball, you can be really good in a lot of facets, but if you can't get the ball in the net, it's all for naught.
Well, and toward the end of the season, I noticed they were really relying on Victor Pizzera. I don't want to say relying. Maybe it was just Victor Pizzera going berserker, as I said earlier. It was just all him. And I'm like, oh, man, you can't go into the tournament like that. But as soon as the tournament started, it spread. The goals have come yesterday. He didn't score either goal, I don't think, in that match. So it's good to see that going in different directions, because that is what makes Indiana so dangerous. That second goal I saw that they scored, I still don't know how he got that across and through the goalie and the defender to the offensive guy to score that. If you saw that highlight, it was a cross from the right wing. I'm like, how did he get that through there? It's just amazing.
You talk about that highlight. If you look, Gumbale doesn't look across the field after he crosses about 25 yards in. He makes one touch, sees the space, keeps his head down, knows exactly where Thomas Ware is going to be when he puts the ball there, and just absolutely threaded the needle, just a couple inches out of reach of the keeper, just in front of a couple of trailing defenders. And, Thomas, I think he hit that with his calf. I mean, I don't even know that he got a boot on it, but it was just such a perfectly positioned pass. And the pace on that, because, again, that field was absolutely dragging balls to a standstill. It just the perfect build-up to the icing on the cake for him. But it's just a remarkable season all around. It was certainly nice to get to the finish line without having to watch them go through PKs or any overtime. It's because, man, it's been a tough year on the ticker following IU soccer.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, get a national championship. What? Okay, think about this. Indiana men's soccer wins a national championship. Heading into a football season is going to have the biggest excitement, expectations, I'm going to say, in the history of Indiana football, because the expectations probably weren't there in 67, maybe. They weren't there as they are now, because you didn't have social media. You didn't have all the pressure. You didn't have the years of losing. So this is the most anticipated football season, I think, in football history. And if Indiana can win a soccer championship and then have basketball following that, and women's basketball, and you've got a baseball that's looking to win a Big Ten championship right now.
Yeah, softball.
Just throwing it out there, man.
Softball's absolutely balling right now. Swimming and diving, continues to produce national champions. I mean, we've talked about the golden era of IU athletics, and as I've said previously, the late '80s, early '90s were kind of my apex. You had teams winning natties. You had teams that were constantly competing for conference titles. It wasn't as deep as what you see right now. Indiana didn't have baseball. It didn't have women's basketball. I'm going to go even further. Women's soccer right now is really ascendant. EVB's putting together a squad, kind of following the model, getting the best in state, and then really expanding around the region and convincing kids that Indiana is where you want to come play and enjoy your college experience. The tide is certainly as high as I can recall at any point in my lifetime, at least, all the way across IU athletics. And, you get football right and continue to, sell tickets and get better TV slots, which give you more TV revenue. That rising tide will always lift all boats. But right now, everybody's riding a high that I can't say I've seen in some time. And the crazy part is we're not even done yet. Soccer still got the natty on the table. Baseball has still got, the conference title in sight. So I wouldn't be surprised if softball gets an invite to the tournament this year with the streak they're on. It's just an absolutely exciting time. And hopefully people are paying attention, because as much as I'm looking forward to getting back into Memorial, I can't wait to get to all the venues in Bloomington, because there's so many great athletes and so many great teams to get out and watch. Tickets are cheap. Seats are easy to come by. It's been one of the things I've enjoyed most raising a family here in Bloomington, is taking advantage of all the varsity sports.